All right, guys, so it has been a busy time at the MrCentralDriver headquarters, AKA, I guess, my garage, and I have a bike called the Panda. Now, the reason why I'm calling it the Panda is because it's the whitest bike that you can order right now. And I'm talking about everything is white except the tires. Even the handlebars are white. The company responsible for making this bike is called HIKEEP, and the model down here is the MA-S. That's what we're gonna be checking out in today's video. They do make a bunch of other bikes on their website, and my coupon code will work with anything on the website. So if you guys are looking at buying one of their bikes, there you go. Coupon code is down in the description. But wait, guys, do not buy this bike yet. Let me get this thing put together. I'm gonna do a time lapse right now with my camera, and we're just gonna see how long it takes me to put this thing together and how well the packaging is. Then we'll go over some of the specs of it, take it out for a ride and see how it performs. I'm really curious on how dirty this bike is gonna get by the end of the video if we take it off-roading, because it even has a white seat. So anyways, let's get to it. All right, guys, so not too bad so far. I've been in this bike for 17 minutes and it is pretty much put together. I do need to tighten the handlebars a little bit more. I was trying to find out where the center was because there's no lines. I kind of hate when bikes don't have the little lines to figure out where the center's at. So I'm gonna measure it, make sure it's even. Gotta air the tires up. And by the way, these are some of the knobbiest tires I have seen on a bike that's not an electric dirt bike. I mean, these are huge. These are definitely gonna make some noise for sure. I noticed that they put the tail light backwards. It's bolted up like that. I think it's just for shipping issues. So we're gonna have to unbolt this and put it back around this way. I did notice that we have the controller up here as well. So I wanna take this apart real quick after we go over the accessories that come on this bike, and I wanna see what the amps is. So stick around for that because that's gonna tell us how much power this is gonna give us. And then we have our massive battery right in the middle. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is a 40 amp hour battery. And the only way I can take that battery off is we find where the key is. So I'm assuming the keys are in this box. So let's go over all the accessories right now. So let's open this one. Oh yeah, nice laid out. I like that. So you got the pedals right here. We got the keys. We got the NFC because this does use NFC. And it basically has every single tool you'll need to put this thing together if you don't have your own tools. Next to that is the white HIKEEP bag. So you can put this on if you want. This is going to be our rear fender. This is going to be our front fender. I do like the paint job on it. You can tell it's definitely a black fender that they just painted because you got a lot of the overspray down under here. And then you have the Jordan number plate right here. It's actually my favorite number because of Michael Jordan. And again, it's the same thing. You can tell it's been painted by how it looks on the back with all the overspray. Decent paint job, I gotta say. It's not a bad paint job. It looks like it has a sticker on top of the 23, so we gotta take that off. And then we also have our seat, which I'm going to leave in this plastic wrap because I have a feeling it's gonna get dirty really fast. So we'll check out that seat later once I get that on. Now what I wanna do is take the battery off, verify the battery, then let's check out the controller next. All right, so let's pop this battery off. Should slide up, a little tight in there. And yeah, it's a 52 volt, 40 amp hour, 2080 watt hours. That is a pretty damn good size. That's like running dual batteries on most of these bikes. So I'm really impressed to see that in 2026. And other than that, you guys can see it on the screen. I don't see really anything else on here that tells me exactly what the cells are. Maybe you guys can find that information or you guys know that yourself. I don't know. But you can see that the battery is also painted as well. You guys probably can't see that, but there are some marks that shows that it was just a black battery that they painted, but it's a really good job on the battery. All right, so I got the two screws taken off. It's very easy to get to this controller when the seat is off. So now you guys know if you ever have to access the controller and take the seat off, this is how you do it. And pulling it back, it looks like 42 amps. That's our limiting current on this. So doing the math on that, 42 times 52, that gives us about 2,184 watts. Now, if I do the math on how high the voltage will go on the battery, it would be 58.8 volts. We'll times that by the controller output. That'll give us almost 2,500 watts, not the 4,000 watts that it shows on the website. So take that however you want. I'm pretty sure I did the math correctly, so that is what it is. We'll definitely see how it performs when I actually start riding it and tell you guys how this bike feels for the price. But first, I gotta finish putting this thing together, so I'm gonna get all these things slapped onto the bike and then give you guys a final total time of how long the assembly took. All All right, so I'm about 10 minutes more into the bike, and that's how the rear, I believe, goes on. Not a huge fan of how that fender sits with the seat, and you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but the seat is already black and dirty already from my hands, and I made sure my hands weren't that bad. But anyways, I needed to find out where the rest of the tools were at and the charger, and I noticed there was a hidden compartment down here in the box. So it gives you your manual, you got the headlight, which looks promising, looks really good. Then you got your charger right here, and you got an air pump, and I need these because we're gonna need these to put the faceplate on. So I believe in probably the next 5 minutes, I will have this bike finished. All right, here she is, guys. She's all put together. I got the number plate put on the front. We got the fender put on. Now, there was a hole down here that I thought the fender was gonna go onto, but then I noticed an extra bolt right here. So it pretty much goes up here, but I think if you really wanted to, you could put it lower, but I think that's what their intended purpose is right here. Now, when I originally got it, I didn't know where this went. I ended up putting it on. Normally don't have bags on my bikes, but I thought it kind of went down on the tube, and this kind of matched up with the seat, but it pretty much just sits really high up here, and it has a Velcro that goes around here and a Velcro that goes around there. Make sure the seat, I've been cleaning the seat, make sure your towels are clean as well. The seat is getting really dirty real quick. Now, I don't know what you guys think about the rear fender. Not a huge fan of how it goes on. I love all the suspension I see on it right now. I aired the tires up to 32 PSI in the front and 30 in the back. It says they go up to 40 PSI, but they are rock solid. Now, this is how I sit on it at 5'9", 165 pounds, and I gotta say, the handlebars are almost completely flat, so this is going to be a really interesting bike for my back to see how it feels, but I'll definitely let you guys know how it feels. It's gonna feel more sporty, I think, because you're almost like this, you know? So anyways, we're gonna have to see how it looks and performs out there on the street. I gotta get it charged up, so I'm gonna do that right now, and I'll see you guys on the road. All right, so first things first, to turn the bike on, make sure the battery's on first. We're gonna hold the power button. It's gonna go into P mode. Now, I believe this is where you can put a password in, but it uses NFC. I decided to keep the keys to the battery and the NFC chips in the bag right here. I believe the charger also fits in this bag right here, so it's super nice to have this bag actually. So you put this right here, everything turns on, should be ready to go. Then we can go up in our pedal assist. If you need to get into the advanced settings, you'll hold the plus and minus buttons. I went in there, it didn't seem like I needed to change anything. If the speed does not match up with my phone, I can always go in there and change the wheel diameter, but I'm gonna ride the bike exactly how it comes out of the box, and I think we should be good to go. I guess one thing I could take off for you guys is this, because they do have an app. They have a HIKEEP app if you wanna get an app for your bike, but I'm not gonna do that. You would just screenshot that with your phone. But yeah, we're just gonna put this in here for now so you guys can see the display a little better. Already getting looks out here. All right, so let's start in mode number 1. Let's see how fast this goes. Dang, still had a lot of like torque. All right, so about 14, 15 miles an hour. All right, mode number 2. Yeah, it definitely has some really good pull right there. We're gonna run out of road. All right, here we go. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. All right. So mode 2 is what you want to stay in if you want to be a class 3 e-bike. Now let's bump it into 3. Here we go, full throttle. You know, it has some decent low-end torque, I gotta say. Nothing like crazy that's gonna blow your socks off, but it is definitely decent. And I gotta say, these tires, oh my God, they are so loud. I knew these tires would be loud. That is crazy. All right, here we go, 37, 38, the display says 40, oh, 39, 40, let's go. Their website said about 38 plus miles an hour. Normally when they say that, I am barely reaching their max claim speed. So that is awesome to see. We already hit 40 miles an hour on this bike. That is awesome. All right, so let's show you guys the torque now. I'm in mode number 3, here we go, full throttle. Okay, that was a little underwhelming. I thought it was gonna lift up on me, but it had a slow start from like 0 to 3 miles an hour, and then it kind of ramped in. I do like that we have a full twist throttle. That is nice. The grips are really hard. I'm not a big fan of the grips. They actually kind of hurt. They have no cushion to them whatsoever. They're just like hard plastic, so you might want to switch those out. But the full twist throttle is great. Let's do a pull one more time and show you guys the torque and that delay that I felt. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the front end is not gonna pick up on you. I'm pretty sure someone could wheelie this thing, but from a 0 standpoint, not really. the way they tune this thing from like 0 to 4 or 0 to 5 miles an hour, somewhere in there, it doesn't have the power. It kicks on slightly after. I gotta say, I feel like a big truck with like mud tires on them going down the freeway, man. I'm really curious to see how these tires are gonna help us perform on the braking test because they're so knobby. So I'm really curious to see what's gonna happen. I guess let's see how this thing turns. Ooh, it's interesting. It kind of wants to keep you upright. So like, yeah, you can turn this thing easily, but it really makes you stay flat on the tire because it is perfectly like flat tire. It barely angles at the corners. So it's gonna keep you upright. Turning, you really can't turn on the side of these tires. You gotta actually force yourself to ride on the outside of these tires. So that's a good thing for safety, I guess, you know, if you're worried about going down or, you know, riding super fast and whatnot. It's definitely gonna keep you flat on those tires. Now, something I'm curious to know is that we're already going down 1 battery bar while we're under throttle at max speed. Is do we have any voltage settings or anything like that? So right now it's showing odometer. We got 2 miles on the bike. It's matching up exactly with my phone, which is awesome. I have a little bit of vibration right in this RPM of the motor. So around 22 to 23 miles an hour, I can feel a vibration in my seat, which feels very funny. But you guys might experience something different depending on your weight, but I'm feeling it like resonating throughout the bike. But anyways, let's hit the power button. Hitting the power button, what does that do? Does that change anything? Okay, max speed, mile per hour. That's our average, I believe. Yeah, that's our average, I think. I don't see anything changing for, yeah, no. I was looking to see a voltage reading. I don't see a voltage reading on here, so that kind of sucks. I think that was a missed opportunity to have voltage on here. It's a huge battery. You should get really good range. 40 amp hours is a shit ton of range, to be straight up honest with you guys. Excuse my language. But yeah, I think you should definitely be able to get 30 to 40 miles out of this bike, depending on how you ride. And you can probably push about 60 miles realistically if you probably ride at anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour and probably pedal this bike as well. Now, some other stuff that's on these handlebars is we do have a dedicated headlight switch. So right now the headlight's not on. You hit this, the headlight now comes on, which is nice. I love that. And we have a horn right underneath that. So let's see that. Okay. I don't know where that's coming from. I think it's coming exactly from this headlight, which is super small. So it's not super loud at all. And you're probably gonna hear it the most because the headlight is closer to your face instead of down on the floor. Oh my God, I forgot to take these off the tires. Oh man. Those probably look pretty cool going down the road, but let's definitely make sure to take these off. All right, so now that I got those off, I wanted to tell you guys about the brakes. So we got Logan brakes on here. They're hydraulic, 203 millimeter rotors. So we're gonna see how this bike brakes right now. All right, here we go, guys. Class 3 e-bike, 27, 28 miles an hour. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that felt good. Oh yeah, wow, okay. All right, these are some great brakes. The tires probably helped, I'm assuming, but we only stopped maybe 3 bikes away from that blue fire hydrant right there. That's crazy. Oh yeah, you were definitely gonna be stopping safely on this bike. That's actually some of the best braking we've had on a bike so far on this channel, at least in 2026 for sure. But for sure, this bike would probably be in the top 10 for how good it stopped just now. All right, so I want to come a little off-road. I don't know what's going on over here. Let's see if we can go over this. You're ruining the bike trail, guys. You guys are ruining the bike trail. All right, let's see if we can make it through this. Oh yeah, we got enough power. Oh yeah. We went right over that. And I'm not slipping at all on this thing. This thing feels planted out here. These knobbies feel like they can just take everything. Even the sand right here, oh yeah. Nice and smooth, no slippage whatsoever. I really feel like you can kind of be aggressive with this thing in the dirt and it's not gonna lose traction. Now, my seating position on this thing is something I wanna kind of talk about before we do the hill test. It's not the most comfortable, I gotta say. I'm sitting like this, I'm hovered over the bike. I feel like I'm really close to the display. Normally I feel like on bikes, I'm sitting like this. Over here, I feel like I'm just like this. So take it with a grain of salt. If you guys have back problems, I probably wouldn't recommend this bike. But if you want a sporty feel to a bike, this is definitely it, because the way you're just sitting on these handlebars. You could also change out the handlebars if you want, but then you're probably not gonna have white handlebars, and that's what's kind of cool about this bike, is that it's all white. So anyways, take it with a grain of salt. Now we're gonna try to go up this hill the best way we can. It's been getting messed up little by little, so we're just gonna try to figure our way up out here. So anyways, let's bump it in the 3. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. That slow start always muddy right there. Okay. It's not going as fast as I thought it would coming up this hill. It's not that muddy now. All right, what do we hit? Like 12, 13 miles an hour? That wasn't that fast. It should have been way faster than that. Normally bikes in this category hit about 17. This thing was on the slower end coming up the hill. I'm gonna do that one more time for you guys, and we're gonna stick to this line. So we're gonna go straight ahead and we're gonna see what it does. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Slow start. A little muddy down there, but it should pick up now. Come on. Come on. 9, 10, 11, and 13. Okay, 13. Still not the fastest bike coming up a hill. Now the good thing is we got a nice fender up front, and we got a big fender in the back that's gonna block us from getting anything on our clothes. The only bad thing is I don't think there's a fender that's really covering all the suspension, so I think your suspension might get piled up with dirt. Let me take a look. Yeah, so actually we do have a fender. We have this one right here. It's kind of like a Sur-Ron fender. However, this is all gonna get muddy, and everything underneath the controller on the where the box is at for that's gonna get all dirty right here. The bike is definitely gonna get blasted with a lot of stuff, but this will definitely keep all the dirt coming from the battery and right here, so that's kind of nice. So now that you guys have saw the suspension in the rear, you guys know that this is not the traditional bike that has just 2 things of suspension on both sides, or maybe one big one in the middle. It has 6 in total if you want to count both of these as 2, and then the rear is 4. I gotta say, I'm not complaining about the suspension at all. I feel like the suspension is perfectly fine. The seat, it's what's really comfortable. This is a nice plush seat. I am really, really digging the seat. Even though it's white and it's gonna get dirty, especially if you have like blue jeans and you get marks on it, that seat is not going to stay white for long, but I gotta admit, the bike is comfortable. Now, I don't know if this bike is supposed to have pedal assist or not. I think it probably doesn't, because I'm moving the pedals right now and nothing's happening. And I'll be honest, I don't even see a sensor down there. So I think the pedals are just for legal reasons. So if you wanted to pedal this bike, it's all leg muscle. There is no electrical assistance in those pedals. So keep that in mind. This is a throttle only bike. And if your battery dies for whatever reason, then you need to pedal the rest of the way. But the good thing is here, we do have a 7-speed Shimano, so it does make it a little bit easier. Like right now I'm pedaling in 2, and if I wanted to go down and make it a little bit more easier for me, I can go into 1. And if you're going downhill, you can put it in a higher gear and you're good to go. Most bikes in this category normally don't come with gears anymore, so the fact that this one does is nice, but it's kind of odd that it doesn't come with pedal assist. Going around a roundabout, nice and planted. Telling you guys, this is a nice planted bike that just keeps you straight upright. It is nice. This is seriously a very nice bike just in general, just to ride around. Even if you don't get the Panda version of this bike, it is just, it's nice and peaceful. It's comfortable, not very quiet because of tires. You can always switch out the tires if you want, but the tires aren't bumpy like I thought they were gonna be. I thought they were gonna feel a little bumpy. You can feel it when pushing the bike in like your driveway or garage or something like that, because you're barely moving it. But once you're actually going at a decent speed, I don't feel the knobby tread whatsoever, which you normally do. I don't know, I really kind of dig the bike, and I'm getting a lot of looks as I'm riding around this area. So many people keep looking at me on this bike. I'm surprised no one's trying to flag me down yet. Now, what's really impressive to me is the bike speed. We hit 40 miles an hour earlier. That was with a full battery charge, of course. But I've noticed I got a lot of wind coming my way right now, and I'm only being able to hit 28, 30 miles an hour. I am in pedal assist 3. So keep that in mind, that I've noticed that if there's any resistance when going against a wind or going up a hill, it doesn't fight to try to get to max speed. It actually kind of bogs down a little bit. Like, I'm only doing class 3, and I would like to be doing about, 38, 39 miles an hour right now, but I'm not. So just keep that with a grain of salt, that it's not gonna hit max speed at all times. It has to be perfect conditions and a full battery charge. See, and now that I'm off of that road, now look how fast we're going, because we don't have much wind. So now I'm hitting like 36. It's going faster and faster. 37, yep. 38, oh man, I run out of road. We're running out of road. But yeah, this is a decently quick bike, I think. I don't think it's 4,000 watts, but it actually has some pep to it after you get past that 5 miles an hour, that initial start. It actually is not that bad. There might even be an advanced setting you can go into and change to have some start pickup, you know, like however fast you want the pickup speed. I'm just riding the bike right out of the box, exactly how it comes. So let's go over the pros and cons of this bike that I'm figuring out as of right now. So the grips, don't like them. The brakes, fantastic. Some of the best brakes I felt on a bike in a really long time. I love the dedicated headlight button. I love the headlight. We're gonna check that out in the second video. The horn is connected to the headlight, so I don't really like that necessarily. That's what most companies are doing nowadays, so just keep in mind, there's no real horns on these bikes, you know, you don't get that anymore. Maybe a Super 73, but that's about it. The plus and minus button is a pretty cheap layout and everything like that, but it does its job. You know, it's good enough. The display is nice. I actually really like the display, but having no voltage reading, don't like that. The trip is telling me exactly the same, so that's really nice to know that your trip is going to be perfect with this. And the speed matches up perfectly too, so you actually can remove your phone completely if you want. That is nice. The 7-speed is also nice too, but there's no pedal assist. So the fact you're not pedal assist in this thing kind of sucks, so keep that in mind. If you actually want to pedal it under assistance, it won't do that. The handling on this bike feels really good. It keeps you upright. It doesn't really want you to ride on the side of the tires because the tires are pretty flat. Now the tires do make some noise though. Keep in mind, they really sound loud. They sound like a monster truck on the freeway, so if you don't mind that, you're all good to go. You can always change them out if you want. I do love the front fender. I do love the rear fender. They're really solid plastic. They're not flimsy. They're not cheap. They're not gonna flap in the wind or nothing like that. The battery is a really good size. I mean, 2,000 watt hours is great for this. It's literally like running 2 batteries on some of these bikes. The 20 amp hour, you get 40 amp hours. This has 40 amp hours in one battery. It's solid. The battery is heavy. I should have weighed it. I think Tell Happy TV weighed the battery, so you can go and check out his video on it, because this is a heavy battery. And it does vibrate on the rail just a little bit, which I don't like, but it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing you can really do. That's the railing system on here, and it looks like we might be flooded out unless I just go around. So I'm gonna go around all this. Ow. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna sink in a little bit. All right, I made it. How to get so flooded over here? What the hell's going on? Now I'm loving the full twist throttle right here. This is nice to have. I'm glad they didn't put a half twist throttle or a thumb throttle. I feel like this throttle is acceptable on this bike. The white on the bike is gonna depend if you are a clean freak and you wanna wipe this bike down a lot, because this bike is gonna get dirty quick, man. I'm telling you, this bike is going to be dirty so damn fast. And again, depending on what type of jeans or clothing you wear, you're really gonna put marks in the seat right off the bat. So just be eerie on that, because I have white seats in my Tesla, and over time with blue jeans, I can actually see the marks on my seats. Even wiping them down, you kind of faintly see them. I don't know how this seat's gonna be. You're just gonna have to find out if you ride it for miles and miles and miles. As of right now, we got 10 miles on this bike, and I am down to 2 battery bars, which doesn't seem great, but I think it's going off a voltage tag, because when I let off, it's normally going up to full battery bars. And you have a brake indicator on the display right there, so when you are riding, if you do hit the brakes, you can't use the throttle, so that's a safety thing right there. I'm really digging this bag right here, even though it's getting dirty from my gloves hitting it over and over. Hold on real quick, we're gonna go over some bumps right here and see how it handles this. Oh yeah, no issue at all. I really don't feel that. That's insane. That is one comfortable bike. Even that last one, smooth. Wow. Comfortability, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It is a solid, comfortable bike. That is the best thing I'm loving about it, and the torque is decent. Just, you gotta get over the fact that it has no power from like 0 to 5 miles an hour. It really hesitates, and then it gives you the power. It's like a turbocharged car. You floor it, gotta wait for that turbo to kick in, and then it takes off. And the fact that this isn't really a good bike for hills, so if you live in a hilly area, this isn't the bike for you. This really isn't. I don't think this is gonna be a great bike for coming up hills. And I really wanted to take it off-road, guys. Maybe I'll figure out a spot real quick to go take it off-road that's not so muddy and see how it performs out there. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I think it's gonna do very, very well. And I haven't even got to tell you guys the price of this bike. It's $17.99 right now, but that's as of making this video in January of 2026. So keep in mind, the prices can always change. I will also have a discount code for you guys down in the description. And we're gonna not go that way because I didn't know that there's people there. So we're gonna go this way because they might follow me. Oh my God, no! I'm not trying to go through the mud. Oh man. No, my bike is white. No, oh my God. Oh my God. All right, well, the spot I was gonna go take it off road, I guess this kind of, you know, is okay too. But I definitely don't want to get them yelling at me because that could happen. Oh no! I guess we'll see how dirty this bike is after because we're riding on all this mud and water. Okay, that was a little jarring, but that was a big hole in the ground. All this is super, super smooth. I see a bunch of stuff on top of the fender already. Oh my God, we're jamming through this. Oh yeah. Oh, no, nope. Nope. Not going through that. Not doing that. Oh man. Oh geez. Oh no! Oh, your boy's stuck. Your boy is stuck. Oh no. I just sunk in. Oh man. Look at all that. That is gonna fly off the bike in no time. So I'm gonna keep it very nice and gentle on my way back. I do see the battery is getting a little bit dirty right here, and I believe because the cutoff of that rear fender is right here and it's going over it and it's getting right in here. So I think it's probably splashing here and here. So your battery is still gonna get dirty, unfortunately. I thought it wasn't, but it is. Your boy's taking it easy. Taking it easy. White, too dirty. I know exactly what I'm doing after this video review is I'm wiping this thing down. I'm getting my hose and spraying it off and wiping it down with some microfiber towels and probably cleaning off my clothes if I got anything on me, which I don't think I did, but it's a possibility. Let's hit this jump. Let's hit this jump. Woo! All right, well, the jump didn't handle too well. It felt like the rear bottomed out, it felt like, which is kind of odd because we have a lot of suspension in the back. So just on that little jump right there, I don't think this is a bike that I would definitely be taking and jumping. You definitely probably could, but I definitely felt like something bottomed out. I don't know, something hit really hard. But yeah, I mean, so far I like the bike. I think it's great. I don't know who the bike is really gonna be for exactly. I guess someone that wants comfort and decent power and, you know, nothing over $2,000 and you want something unique. This is definitely something unique. If you are a person that likes to stand out, this is the bike for you for sure. But anyways, that's the end of this video, guys. I will continue the range test. So far, we've done 11.6 miles. Somehow this moved down. I gotta tighten this a little bit. Yeah, so 11 miles. We're down to 3 battery bars when I'm under throttle, and I think it goes up to 4 when I let off. But yeah, I'll continue the range test. We're not gonna be going as fast in the second video, but we're gonna check out this light, the brake light. We don't have no turn signals, but I'm really curious to see how this front light looks because it looks badass just looking at it, and I really hope it performs the way it looks. So you guys have to check out part number 2 on this video that will come out probably in a week after this video goes up, and I'll see you guys then. Again, if you guys want to buy this bike, everything is down in the description. Hopefully this video helped you. If it did, like the video. If it didn't help you, unlike the video. I don't know, do what you gotta do. I'm just out here trying to give you guys my honest feedback on all these bikes because I want you guys to make the best decision on what you're gonna buy. So hopefully I did the job. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, true VPs.